Dave Ramsey's watching. We had to like do our taxes that next year, and can I tell him the amount of the check that we had to write for our taxes? You're not even gonna question the fact that I had your makeup in my pocket? Ah, in shock from that. I was like, this is the biggest amount of money or check I've ever written in my life.
There's been 1 month, just straight from YouTube, income was like $32,000 or something.
I thought it was more than that.
A measly $500,000 a year. She said, I have some money in my piggy bank.
Piggy bank, mommy and daddy, and I was like,
$86,164.70.
the fact that they know where money is, almost better than we do.
We're trying to stay positive. The fact of losing your house,
It's the worst feeling ever. All right, nerd, you got all your stuff together?
I think so.
Okay.
I hope so.
Let's go then.
I am like getting so nerdy today. This is so exciting to me. This is so exciting. Can I tell you, oh, did you want to say something? That's copyrighted. We're here live at the Budget Car Rental Studios where the Dave Ramsey show is filmed. I wish, that would be pretty cool.
What's up, guys? I went through and dug out this thing from
Hang on. I'm the one that always has to fix the thing because it doesn't bother him, but it bothers me.
I went through my box that we have packed in the attic.
Found the original, huh?
The original, the OG. Even though we have it on Audible, it's something good about just holding the thick piece of
book
in your hand. Yeah. Hang on.
So
look at that. Here. Dave Ramsey.
We have Susie here with us.
Dave Ramsey's watching.
Susie the pimple. What's
You're not even gonna question the fact that I had your makeup in my pocket?
No. Well, I was kind of wondering when I opened it that this one's like old.
Oh. Yeah.
And it doesn't match your skin tone at all. That made it probably let it make it much better. You got it. You're supposed to get the concealer.
Oh, sorry.
This is just the powder.
I just saw better skin. The Dave Ramsey show left to comment on one of our videos.
Yeah,
so
thanks to y'all for that. That was like, oh my gosh.
I had to look my best.
If that doesn't light a fire under your butt, then what will? Whew. Okay, so we're about to get kind of nerdy right now, and
hey,
that's
I'm
very
Cullen.
exciting.
This is my wife, Katie.
I'm Katie.
There's a lot of people that
I'm
are
the
new
nerd.
here. She's the nerd. I'm the free spirit. Can you tell? We have 2 kids and we have a channel on YouTube, and we're going through our debt-free journey.
Our 2 kids are Gaines, and she's 5, and Brooks is 3.5. He's 3.5. And we've been doing YouTube for a long time. Social media, it now is a bunch of different stuff. So.
And we're breaking the mold of the taboo topic about money.
We were original Dave Ramsey hardcore followers when we first got married almost 13 years ago, 12 and a half years ago. Didn't have any debt, had our cars paid for in cash, everything was good until 2016. We had our 2nd kid. We started making a lot more money. We didn't know how to manage it as well, and things went to crap. If you want to hear all about that, go back and watch our first video and we kind of explain the whole thing.
I don't think we told them, like, when we first didn't know what to do with the money that we were getting from YouTube, we didn't realize, like, oh, this isn't just blow money or, you know, fun money. We had to like do our taxes that next year, and can I tell them the amount of the check that we had to write for our taxes?
Because we didn't know. So anybody who's like starting to make money doing a little side gig, you gotta put aside some of that money.
That's funny because
we had been though.
No, that's what's funny about it is there's 2 parts to this. One, my sister's on YouTube and she's been doing stuff with brands and stuff, so she's getting all these 1099s, and I just had this conversation with her yesterday, and she was like, what? I don't know anything, I don't know how to do this. And I'm like, watch your videos. But then 2, at the time when we got the amount that we owed in our taxes, at the time it was like, okay, that's a lot, but we have the funds to do it, so it wasn't that big of a blow. But looking back on it now and saying the number out loud to her yesterday, I was like, whoa.
People had told us to put aside about like 30% or something of your income. And I mean, we were... For a small business owner, or because we're a small business. If you're not having any taxes taken out. Speaking of taxes, that was the accountants.
One of our accountants.
Okay, we'll get back to that in a
we
minute.
need to figure it all out. But
Stop! Symmetry.
The amount for our taxes that year that we had to literally write a check out for, and I didn't even know how to use my hand at the time because I was like, how do I do this with all these zeros? $21,000?
Something like that.
$21,000, $22,000.
And I think halfway through the year we had started paying the taxes throughout the year. So like we weren't expecting it to be that much.
Other than the car, I think I wrote an $11,000 check from our checking account. But that was the biggest check, and I even like my memory is like still like in shock from that. I was like, this is the biggest amount of money or check I've ever written in my life, and I couldn't believe it. But at the time, I was like proud of it because we had the money and we
it wasn't a panic.
Yeah, it wasn't like a thing. But looking back on it now, I'm like, holy cow. So yeah, all you small business owners or wannabe small business owners out there, taxes are no joke.
You gotta pay attention to stuff, you really do. So, but that's when we were putting money aside, but we weren't quite as aware of where everything was going, and it was just kind of like, oh, we have the money to do this. I actually heard in one of Dave Ramsey's podcasts the other day, he was talking about how he was working with an NFL player that, you know, he made like $10 million a year. And so the NFL isn't like a long-term career, and so a lot of the NFL players will, you know, spend all their money as they're getting it. And so this guy was trying to be responsible and like, okay, what do I do so that I don't spend all this money? And so he said, you know, he advised them to choose how much he wanted to live on per year, and then helped him figure out what to do with the rest. So he's making $10 million a year, and he decided so that he could be set for life, basically, to live on a measly $500,000 a year, which is still a huge amount of money. I said measly like jokingly because it's still a huge amount of money.
Right.
But as you're looking at it, you're like 10 million and you only want to live on 500,000. What's wrong with you? And his friends thought he was crazy, but then he didn't just blow all the money. So for us, had we started making more money and continued living on what we were living on, that was perfectly fine. We weren't in any debt. We were not struggling for money. We had an extra like $500, I think, a month at the time that we would put towards either, we just moved into a new house, so either like something we needed for the house, a project in the house, or saving, you know, all that stuff. If we just kept living on that, we would be set right now, but we're not. So this is why we're here.
I couldn't imagine being one of those professional athletes that just gets caught up in the YouTube lifestyle, essentially, like in the professional world of sports, and then anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. But that was just an interesting thing that I just came across thinking about it logically yesterday. I was like, holy cow, that was a freaking large amount of money. That was a big check. We don't have a check that we can write for that amount right now. So that's also addressing a question from the previous video right quick. There were some people assuming because we said we had $28,000 in payments, like 10 different payments coming in the next month and a half, that's how much we make every month, and that is not accurate right now. There's been 1 month within our whole YouTube career that our actual only just straight from YouTube income was like $32,000 or something. I thought it was more than that. It probably was. Still in the 30s. But I remember looking at it at one point and seeing 30,000, and that's when I was just like, oh, we're good. Nobody worry about money, we're fine. And that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. But that is not anywhere near our current income per month. No. So that money, like for example, in December is a heavy advertising month. That was just AdSense, right? Yeah, that was back then. That was just YouTube AdSense money. Yes, and that over $30,000 hasn't happened for us in a long time. I mean, ever since then. That was our biggest month ever just on YouTube. So that didn't count brands or merch or any of the other ways. At that time, neither of us had a podcast or anything else. Right. So that was our only income. November and December are heavy advertising months. So we did more brand deals than we usually do. Right now, currently, I don't think we have any that we're like currently working on. We have a few we just posted, but so like for the next month, we may not have any, or we may have one versus having like 5. So we have to distribute the $28,000 across like the next several months. So figuring out how to do that on top of making sure we pay our bills and making sure we pay off some debts, pay some minimum payments, which we added up the other day in the video, the last video, and the minimum payments equaled out to like what, it was like $3,300 just for minimum payments. Just for minimum payments. So doesn't include the 4 walls: food, transportation, shelter, and what's the 4th wall? Something else. Air, water. No, that's sun, fire. Oh, like electricity. Electricity. Was that no, utilities. Utilities. That's shelter. Utilities. No, it's separate from shelter, I think. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I think utilities, food, mortgage. What was the other? What y'all are like leaving in the comments? Like Google. Food, shelter, basic clothing. Basic clothing. Transportation. Yeah. So like we're good on clothing right now, but we just walk around naked. We got ours covered. We're on the Dave Ramsey flow in our clothes. But something that we
y'all are gonna be like, you guys are so dumb. Like, why would you not have thought of that? But I don't know, we weren't thinking about the 4 walls, and we were basically kind of just thinking about the other bills. I guess something that we hadn't really mentioned is, like, as I was listening to one of his podcasts, he was talking about getting things current, like getting all your bills current before you can move on to paying debt. And that is a place we're not actually at right now. I think with having our house on the market and selling it, trying to sell it since July, we kind of keep thinking like, okay, well, our house is about to sell, so if we get behind on a mortgage payment or 2, it's not the end of the world. Let's put that money towards.
Well, we did have a contract on the house too.
Right,
like,
yeah,
so that
we
was
did have a
another
contract
like
on the house, and we're
stifling thing that we shouldn't have stifled, like, because of that.
Right,
like,
and we were kind of like, well, if we're gonna be closing on our house at the end of December, then like, if we skip this December payment so that we can pay the credit card bill or pay like the debt down, then this is all gonna be taken care of when we close on our house. Well, when that doesn't happen, in case you don't know, your mortgage company gets in touch with you and they're like, hello, would you like us to have your house back? Like, can we have it? Because you're not paying for it. So that is something that we actually need to get current on first, that we hadn't taken into account when we put all of this budget stuff together that we've been talking about.
We're learning.
Yeah, we weren't like intentionally leaving out that detail. We just kind of, we're dumb. We're still a little dumb. We're still learning. We're not dumb. We're learning.
Yeah, don't say yourself.
We're not dumb. We're just learning. And so that's something that we need to get to first. So we have some little charts that we're gonna make today on how we're gonna pay off all of our debt, because I was like, I'm just gonna sit down and make me like a little graph so that I can keep track of it. We can have a visual. And then I was like, oh, everybody told me about this girl, Debt-Free Charts, I think is her, the name on her.
I've been doing this right now while we were just chit-chatting, getting out the border. You know me, I like to color.
So
being the free spirit I am.
Yes. So this is her little Tetris chart, and it's really cool because we actually both love Tetris. So as you pay off an individual amount for each little block, you color in a block. And she's got little places on here where you put your total debt, and then you put your start and your finish date, and then each piece, there's 200 pieces. So you divide your total debt by 200, and that's how much each piece is. So as you pay off each piece, you color in, and each level is 50 pieces. So you can kind of figure all that out. For us, what we had mentioned the other day is that our total debt is $86,164.70. So when you divide that by 200, each piece is $430.82. So for each $431 we pay off, we can color in a little thing. And for each level we complete, that will be $21,541 that we paid off. Which is freaking huge. And
I look at that and I'm like, there is no way in hell.
There's no way. That's what I keep thinking too. I'm like, how? Like, it seemed so doable until I looked at this chart and I was like, we're never gonna put this whole thing up.
Like, I say that. I know we can do it.
But I know we can.
I know we can do it. But like, it's very daunting and overwhelming when you break it down like that. Because
can I check my heart rate right now?
I'm like,
can
these pieces be a little bit? I need a couple sticks in there to like take up some space, or give me like 4.
Look, there's a stick. There's a stick.
I'm just
I
saying,
got an 88 right now on my heart rate. Whew, I need to just chill out a minute.
These are small pieces.
But instead of looking at the whole thing and figuring you're not doing anything, she also has these smaller little charts. So for example, this one is for a credit card. So there's 50 spots, 50 lines. So as you pay off, so for us, this is our biggest credit card, our biggest debt, $39,489.16. So each of these 50 lines will be $789. So as we go through one line, we can color in a line and you eventually fill it up. So we have one for each thing, even down to the smallest thing, which is the medical bill I mentioned the other day, that's only $300. So for each $6 that we put towards that, we get to fill in a line. So like this one will fill up quick. So that's true. That's why he does the like smallest to largest. So you start on the smallest and you see yourself filling up a whole sheet and you're like, okay, this is good.
Well, and what if we just like
pay off the whole thing?
Pay off the whole thing. Then you just like.
Then I'll just be like, check mark.
Get Gaines or Brooks to color it for us?
Yeah, just color it in. So, I mean, ideally we're gonna color the whole thing at one time. I just wanted to have them kind of all laid out.
I think that'd be really cool to like put up and like visually see.
I've been trying to think of where though, because our house is on the market and we're like showing it often.
They don't want to
People come through and they're like, well, because each one of these says a different thing. Like it says medical bills. There's one that, because I was like, what category does like the golf cart that we have to pay for? The golf cart's paid for. This was a repair on the golf cart. And dumb stuff was an option. These are all free. I downloaded these all for free. Dumb stuff was one of the free options. So I was like, that works.
Can we just say, like, the golf cart holds a special place in our hearts because it is a good family outing. It is very nostalgic, and we get the wind blowing in your face, and it's been a very tough decision.
Dang, these SD cards keep dying and running out of space. Okay.
I'm about to sell this camera.
Don't say that. Now it's gonna break. Anything we complain about breaks. Don't complain about it.
But the golf cart, memorable family time.
It honestly brings our kids more joy than it does us. Like it's a good relaxation.
Yeah, it gets them away from the screen. If you want them to wind down, you get them out there, and before you know it.
There's also other options like go for a walk, but
yeah, who wants to walk right now? I would now, in the beginning, we're like, what's paid for? But it's also like an investment that we can use to sell, like sell everything with your kids
and pay some stuff off faster
that way.
And it's not saying we're never going to be able to get a golf cart again. Once we get all this situated, we will have earned ourselves back. Saving up some money and buying it the right way, under the right circumstances, instead of putting it on a credit card.
Not just saying to ourselves, oh, we got a $5,000 brand deal last month. We can put that towards a golf cart. Like, what were we thinking?
I know, which we did pay for it up front.
Right, but it wasn't like, so now it's categorized as dumb stuff. That's all I'm saying. Yes. But it was a hard decision to make at first to even consider selling it, but it needs to go.
Yeah, it's still sitting in the garage because we honestly haven't had a chance to post it. We've been out of town and doing showings and all kinds of stuff, but that needs to get posted like ASAP. What we're gonna do is we're gonna fill these out and kind of just show y'all how we're doing it because I'm the nerd and this really excites me. Like this is the part that's exciting. Never mind the fact that it's gonna take us forever to fill this chart up. It's fun to look at. And
give me some crayons and just leave me alone.
I realize I'm in the right place, like mentally, I think, when I remember saying this back when we very first got married. I was like, I get excited for bills to come in, which is weird, I know. But because then I can do the rest of my budget. Because it's like once I know how much the water bill is gonna be and the power bill is gonna be, then I can like figure out the rest of the budget and distribute the money to the envelopes and stuff. Like you remember I'd be like, yes, the power bill came today. Let's see how much that is.
And I'm like, if I don't know it's not there, or if I don't see it, then I'm just gonna act like I don't see it, or I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like out of sight, out of mind type
That's
mentality.
Why I don't usually show you the bank account balance. Because you'd be like, oh, there's $2,000 in there. We can go to dinner. I'm like, nope, 1,500 of it's going to this and 500 is going to that. It's all gone.
And we used to argue a lot about like, she would intentionally drop hints saying, we don't have that much money this month. Be careful when you go to the store. We don't have that much money this month. Be careful when you go to the store. And I would come back with a $250 grocery because we needed those Pop-Tarts and those Pringles on the end cap or whatever that they got me with. Well, then I tell her, I spent $200. Well, we only had $250. So now we have $50 for the rest of the month or whatever the number was or whatever. And I'm like, well, why didn't you just tell me the number to begin with? And so we would get in this argument about that. I think now it's like knowing and knowing these apps. YNAB is one that y'all have been recommending a lot that we need to download. Which, by the way, while we're just drawing and coloring on these little charts, can I just say, like, y'all's community cohesiveness in the comments has been just unbelievable. Like seeing y'all comment to each other, and it's like we're all in this together, and it's a thing that everybody just kind of hides from, or one of them does it while the other one just goes
all the money
to the room and colors his little chart or whatever. I was watching a Rachel Cruz video too this morning about how the wife avoided even bringing up the financial budget meeting or whatever with her husband because she knew it would create an argument of some sort, because you would just nitpick me on every little, like, well, why did you spend this here? I didn't know you went there. And I would just like get all defensive. And I think it has a lot to do with the past 2 years of everything we've been through mentally and everything to get to where we are today. And you even posted something about that on Instagram. But like, once you're on the same team as far as everything goes, I think it really helps to understand what is going on and visually see like the excitement of meeting your princess in the castle and she's not in a different one.
Well, and I think it's also helpful too for the visual person versus like, I've always got the numbers running through my head, and to say we have $3,000 that we need to pay off on this, in his mind is like, okay, well, whatever, we've got this and that and other. But to see it, like for both of us to be able to see it visually, it's just different. And it also gives you more motivation. Like when you're at the top of this and you only got like 2 lines left, you're like, oh, what else can we sell? I just want to be done with this. Whoa. You might think if you're starting with the smallest and only paying off that first, then what's the point in even going ahead and doing these bigger ones? But this is why I wanted to do it, because like this biggest credit card we have, that's $39,000, we're still having to make the minimum payments on it. If you didn't see my Instagram post the other day, I just made the minimum payment on it, and it was $1,500 just for the minimum payment. So that's $1,500 that's already gone towards this debt. So
that's
even
more
though
than some of y'all's
mortgage or rent or whatever,
payments, which is
it's more than our old mortgage.
Yeah, no,
was.
that's absolutely insane.
So it's stupid. So even though this isn't the one we're attacking right now, even making the minimum payments, we're still able to deduct the, you know, money that we owe on those. Each one of the spots is $789, and so I can color in, I guess, 1 or 2 of them, since I just paid $1,500. Like, how do you keep up with how much?
You put the number out here?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, but I want to see an example. Is it that that's how much you've paid? 100, 200? Okay. I was thinking it'd be the opposite. Like, we still owe $39,000. Then you subtract that, and then you put that, and then you put that. So by the time you get up here, you're like, oh, we only owe this much left.
It's how much you paid, though. Not
Yeah,
how much you owe.
yeah, that's true.
So you
Okay,
build up how much you paid.
All right. So we write in the amount that this. So I mean, I'd make it $790. And is that actually a line?
Y'all are doing this with us. If you're not, go print it out and figure it out with us, because we don't know what we're doing.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out if that is a line, or if that, what is this? There's just like a little extra here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 23, 24, 25, 26, 39, 40, 49, 50, 51. Okay, so that isn't a line. So we can go ahead and color in this little piece because it doesn't even count.
Yeah, she said let's color these in, and then we were like, well, we can only color in 1 line, and I can like design around this outside right here for a minute.
Well, I better write in the amounts on the side, so y'all can kind of be around for that.
To address another question, and this is kind of a color with me and address questions vlogcast. Another question we had on some of the other videos. In the previous video, we went on our paid for trip, and we've got another video that it's going to be the second day of that trip coming out. Probably just, it's going to be a quick short video just by itself in the next couple days, or on the weekend or something like that. So y'all be on the lookout for that, and we kind of talk about how we ended the trip with cash only scenario. But there was some confusion about that. Like, if we don't have cash to even put in envelopes, how are we even paying for putting the hotel on a credit card, or the Uber rides, or how did we even get cash out in the first place? Y'all remember we did get that unexpected check the day before we left for the trip that got overnighted to us. And so if you watch that video, I show a clip of me going and getting cash out the night before we left. By the grace of God, we were able to use cash.
Which our plan, had we not gotten that, was to use $200 from our emergency fund, which I know it wasn't an emergency, but in this case, we had just started this whole process. We hadn't planned far enough ahead, but we did have enough in savings that we could take that $200 out and use it, and then put it back after we got reimbursed for it. So there you go.
So we took the opportunity with that to have respect for the company that was flying us out there and paying for a hotel and everything, to also use this as a practicing travel session, if you will, of what we could do in the future if we had to travel with our own cash. Because in the old days, we wouldn't have even looked at the airport menu
It would have been
prices.
like, somebody else is paying
Like,
for
are
it.
we getting
Let's go for it.
reimbursed? Yeah, let's go ham at this restaurant. Let's
Well, and not like
round
in
for everybody.
not like in a bad way to take
No.
advantage of anybody, but just like, well, I mean, they want us to eat, and we're gonna eat,
And we're gonna eat good.
and we can't think about it right now because we're so stressed out from traveling and
Right.
whatever else. But it was a really good practice experience, because we could have been like, okay, we're about to get on this strict budget. This is our last hurrah. Let's just go all out and buy a nice dinner for ourselves and like really enjoy the
Right.
last little
That's true.
whatever. We know we're gonna have trips come up like that while
Yeah.
we're on this budget. We're gonna obviously not intentionally plan trips, because that's not part of this whole paying off debt plan, but like business stuff sometimes we have to travel.
I'm not gonna say I didn't like grab a couple extra bottles of water when they were handing them out for free at the event.
Oh, we took advantage of any free stuff we could get.
I was refilling the water bottles up in the hotel room and putting them in the fridge.
From the sink.
Yeah, from the tap water, and you could tell which ones were sink water and which ones were purified or whatever.
That kind of grosses me out.
But I'm like, yeah, build your immune system, let's go. That was a very learning experience, so y'all stay tuned for that video. I'm trying to think if there are any other questions regarding that trip. It ended up pretty well, we did good. It was a good learning experience. You heard in the last, no, it's in the video coming up. Our kids are starting to catch on, so y'all stay tuned.
Yeah.
Like, it's, they see all this. They see and hear and sponge everything more than you realize. And so when we talk about not having enough money for certain things, or we need to save money for certain things.
And that's how I try to spin it, is that we're trying to save money, not like, hey y'all, we're broke, because you don't want your kids to worry that they're not gonna have the things provided that they need. Like,
right.
You don't want them to worry about it and feel like they need to be worried about you and their living situation. So we try to, what?
There was one time where Gaines even said something when we were at dinner, wasn't it?
Oh, she did. She said, I have some money in my
piggy bank, Mommy and Daddy. And I was like, oh, okay,
I know.
we're gonna play this game. Oh, that almost brings tears to my eyes just hearing that.
I know. Well, and we try to present it to, they're only 3 and 5, so they don't fully understand things, but they understand more than you realize.
Just knowing where the fact that they know where money is almost better than we do, and are able to like suggest that, is like heartbreaking.
I know. Well, and we tell them that we're saving up money. We're saving up money, and we're trying to budget our money and use our money responsibly. So we're trying to teach them about it as we go along.
Woo! So let's just draw these charts out and
It is emotional. I got to like crying yesterday when I was blowing the yard off before some people came and looked at our house. Just cause we're trying to stay positive, and you know, all the comments are positive, and like, y'all are gonna get through this and it's gonna be fine, and we paid off $100,000 or $200,000 or whatever, and y'all can do this. But it's also, I don't know, it's like, well, what if we can't? You know, like when you think of the fact of losing your house, or
it's the whole trap feeling. Like, it's the worst feeling ever.
Because we've been trying to sell our house for 6 months. It's not like we haven't been trying. You get a little, I wouldn't even say prideful, but just like the things that previously were like, well, we worked hard to pay for the golf cart and to pay for the whatever other crap that we paid for. And it's like, to think about having to like take a step back and take that away.
It's almost nice though.
I mean, it is nice.
Going through the Marie Kondo process and stuff, like, it makes me, we don't need this. Like, our kids were the happiest they've ever been in this hotel room where we're all shacked up together.
We didn't have much stuff. Well, and
it's just like, I can see the end of the road. Like, I can see the debt for the freedom at the end. But just the whole fact that it's just, I keep thinking about how we got here and like, why.
Well, and you can look at what all we have and the excess of things we have, and it's almost like God said, hey, you actually keep telling me that you realize you don't need this stuff, but you're still not getting rid of it, so I'm gonna make it so you're gonna have to get rid of it.
I'm gonna break it.
But our kids obviously have everything that they need and more, so it's not even that. It's just that in the little things, it's not their fault that we make stupid decisions, and it's hard to be like, if they ask why can't we, why are we saving money, because Mommy and Daddy made bad decisions and didn't spend money wisely. And I mean, that's hard to say, because like, we're their parents and we're supposed to be, one, being good examples, but two, also just providing for them, and providing. We're providing. They definitely have everything they need. That's not a concern.
Oh my
gosh. You just
gosh.
feel bad. It's not their fault.
I promise I'm not gonna like get upset every video. It feels like I'm just, but like, I was just telling her, switching SD cards out, like, it was cute in the moment that she said it, and the craziness that we were going through when she said that about having money in her piggy bank, and it didn't hit me until I like replayed that moment in my head and said it out loud just now. And that's where it's just like thinking about like what is going on in her mind to consciously and be aware of and knowing where her money is, to say that to her parents in a kind gesture. Like, that's just, she should be thinking about saving that money for candy and balloons, not giving it to her mom and dad because they need money for dinner and stuff like that. I don't know. Okay, y'all go print off your charts, keep us posted, tag us on Instagram.
If you have charts that you've used or that you've created just yourself, or like, even if it's just a little like piece of paper with stuff written on it, like I usually do, we'd love to see them and love to see like your progress. You know, I'm not asking you to see everybody's numbers or anything. I'm just saying if you got like something to show us.
And we were gonna talk about like our monthly household income or our yearly
We got off on a whole other
household income this time, but we got off on it. So y'all stay tuned for that. We will address that next time, and we will keep going through this process. I'm gonna get the golf cart ready to sell. I'm gonna get all my other stuff that we've got ready. So we've got like 3 or 4 things in the marketplace right now. Like I don't know.
Because getting current is actually our main like, focus
now
right now. So we're gonna work on that. But thank you all so much for sharing our stuff too. We really appreciate y'all tagging us on Instagram and sharing with your friends and sharing with your husbands and your wives and whoever. It really means a lot to us when we see that something that we posted has like impacted somebody in a positive way. I never thought of it that way when we started this, that it would really be that meaningful to people. So it really means a lot, and so we thank y'all so much for that.
It's crazy. Yeah, I was just talking about this on the podcast that's going up on Tuesday. We didn't plan for this. We just literally sat down because it was on our hearts, and like the very first video we posted, we were like, we needed to just talk about this so we can like get it out of, like when you put it on paper.
We share our lives. That's what we do on YouTube, and so there was a big part of our life that we weren't sharing.
This deep into it, and now I'm so glad we did based on all of y'all's feedback. So thank you. And
I'm still feeling it now.
I gotta go fix my mascara. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.